Okay, well, Ankaret and I are I'm helping Ankaret work on her willow fence. So I'll put you on my head. See how you like it.
So does Willem have a party when he...
Yes, there's going to be one. There's going to be one next week, I think. Wednesday, or no, the week after that.
How long has he worked there?
30 years, I think. Or over 30 years now. It is.
How did you meet Willem?
Well, we went to a single adult conference from church. He came down from Ottawa and I came up from Kitchener. And
Where was it?
in Oakville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's your tromping ground. Stomping ground.
Was this a church?
Yes, it was a church single adult conference where you get together, and I didn't care about meeting a man. I was in the middle of exams, or I just finished exams, and I just wanted
For
to.
what?
For I'm psychology in University of Ottawa or Waterloo.
Yeah.
So he was standing in line, and to get snacks, and I thought, well, I've never seen this man before, so I should check him out. I had a series of questions I would ask to make sure that anybody was suitable. And so I asked him his name, and he told me his name, but it was so slurred I couldn't understand it. His Dutch accent. And then I asked, I guess I asked him a few questions. Where are you from? What do you do? And he told me where he worked, and it was quite a long name. And I said, well, you must have to have, or what kind of education do you have to do that? And he said a PhD, and I thought, aha, good work. He's suitable. Step one. I didn't want, my first husband had not had much education.
Oh, really?
And it had been a thorn.
What nationality is your husband?
He was English.
Yeah.
And I was American, and so he didn't like Americans. And
How did you get together?
well, I came to Canada doing my genealogy. I joined the church, the Mormon church, and I started looking for my ancestors, and my grandparents were both from Canada, and I'd never been up here or met any of their relatives. So I came up and I found a phone book. I asked Bell to send me a Kitchener phone book. And so they did, and I looked up to see if there were any people with my last name, and I wrote to one, or there were a few, so I wrote to them and asked if they were related to my second great-grandfather, who I knew was from up here somewhere. We had a family Bible, and he was in there. So a man wrote back and said that that was his grandfather.
Oh, how exciting.
And so he invited me to come and he would show me around. So I came up, actually I was on my way to Florida. I was going to go see about living in Tallahassee, Florida. I lived in Georgia at the time. I was going to go to Florida and go to school down there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Here's one for you.
okay. And on the way I had this feeling that I shouldn't be going to Florida, I should go to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled into a driveway and turned around. And I went to Canada. And I had communicated with an aunt that I would like to come up. And she said I could come and stay with her for a little while and do my research. She was one of my grandmother's sisters, or my grandfather's sisters.
Mm-hmm.
There were 11 children, so it was she was the youngest. She was still alive. She was quite old. Well, she's probably my age, but well, anyway. So I came up to stay with her, and I went to church in Kitchener, and I met this fellow, and he was a nice guy. And so I dated him for a while, and he asked if I would marry him, and so I did. I said he had to ask my dad, because I thought that would be a good thing to do. So we went to Georgia and met my parents, and anyway.
Or Dad approved.
I guess so. It's too bad, because he turned out to be quite an abusive man, but anyway, so I stayed there 8 years. He was a farmer. He was a factory worker and trying to earn enough money to have a farm. So he had bought the farm already.
So he was trying to get enough money to...
Yeah, so he worked in a factory in Kitchener. And he had renters on his farm.
He had what?
Renters on the farm. So his father was pig farming, and so he had bought some pigs from his father, and they were going to be bred, and he would bring them home when they were bred. And so that's how we started farming.
And did you live on the farm, or were you...
Yes, yeah, we lived on the farm. And I loved farming. I loved I had a wonderful time, yeah, but he was so mean, and so that didn't last forever.
So did you have children?
Yeah, we had 2 kids.
So it must have lasted for quite a long time.
Well, 8 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I kept leaving and then coming back, and
I know. And when you have children, that's not easy.
mm-mm. But finally, I had left him and was in Kitchener in an apartment, and he had he came to my door, and I told him about Willem, that I had met this other man. He came to ask me out, and thank heavens I had met Willem, because who knows, I might have gone.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. I had very low self-esteem. But
well,
Willem...
you got out of it.
Yeah, Willem, it was amazing that I never changed who I was, but being treated as Willem treats me, it just changed me completely.
Yes.
I became self-assured, and
Willem was already divorced then, wasn't
yes, his divorce had just gone through a week before we met, or something like that.
he? But he lived in Ottawa. He had lived in
Yeah, he was...
So his family was...
So his children were in Ottawa. And he was living in an apartment, and he was very good to his children. He gave them most of his income, went to his ex-wife and children. So he just lived on a pittance.
Oh, yes. That's the trouble, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult when you have... So you had children and he had three.
He had 4.
He had 4.
He had 4 and I had 2.
Really? So you had quite a big
So one of the questions I asked him is if he was paying child support, and I wanted to know why he was divorced, because I thought that was very important.
Yes, what was the reason?
Well, his wife had been very clean and tidy, and he would never measure up. So he was always in trouble for...
Oh, being sloppy.
So you're...
I'm ending.
Okay, and then I'm...
cut these 2 off. I don't really want to bring them back. So did you and Willem have any?
Yeah, we had 3.
That's right. So you've got
9.
9 between you. It's quite a lot, isn't
It is. And it's nice that I never called them stepchildren or half-children or anything like that. So they've all grown up thinking of themselves as part of 9.
Yes.
And so when they ask how many brothers and sisters do they have, they all say 9.
Oh, that's nice.
It
What
is.
age were they? Compatible ages?
16, 10, 8, and 5. So when I married Willem, we moved in with his children. His wife moved out,
Oh my goodness.
and we moved into the house.
With all his lot?
Yeah, and
Your
mine.
lot.
And so, of course, that did not work at all. It was a very
That would be rather traumatic.
stressful, yeah. The kids, you know, it was their house, and they have these other
were
kids,
invading them.
yeah,
Yes.
replacing their mother, and
Yeah.
she wanted a break, so she wanted me to have them, and I thought that was wonderful. I'd love to have the children. They're beautiful children, but it didn't last.
So now you're there. How shall we wet this now? I'm going to go. I've finished my white line, but I don't have enough white stuff to get back, I don't think. I know I don't. So maybe we should both come up with a buff for a bit.
What color's that? Mine?
Yeah.
The brown?
Yeah.
So I'll keep doing this and I'll come back around the corner?
We could go to the farm and get some more brown,
Okay.
but let's do a couple more rows of this first.
Okay.
I know Linda's coming, and I want to be here when she comes.
Okay.
I don't know what. I wonder what time.
It is 10:20.
Is it really? Oh well, she should be here. She should be here at 10. I don't want to her to come to be coming to help.
And nobody be
And
here.
nobody here. That would be rather awful, wouldn't it? But you see, we could do. We've got a white line in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do a bit more buff. And the only thing I'm wondering is whether we want to have a little bit more of a gap anywhere. But perhaps we should stay solid here. It's rather an ugly thing. And you're coming round there. You haven't got your seat.
No, but I'm okay right now.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to get you your seat?
No, I'm all right right now.
Okay, well, let's push this on a bit. I'll look at the hole. It's going to get hot, the thing. I'm brown on here. I could do another couple of rows of buff. Maybe that's the thing.
That's the color I'm using?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got lots of that. But we haven't got lots of the brown until I get it. I mean, I have got it, it's just at the farm. But I haven't soaked up any more. I don't like to soak up a lot and then leave it wrapped up. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
nasty. This is lovely.
It is. It's beautiful. It's amazing how supple it is that you can turn corners like this
Well,
with
it was
it.
soaked up well, you see, and then I wrapped it up. I only soaked it up for half a day, and then I wrapped it up in, and it's just, they say it's mellow. I think a double row goes. Isn't this fun?
It's lovely. I'm glad to work with you.
Oh, very sweet. I've been working up here in the mornings with my iPad, my iPhone, no,
Your iPod?
Pod.
No, iPad.
No, pod.
Oh, mine is the little tiny one is an iPod.
Yeah.
So you have an iPod as well?
Yeah. I have my iPod.
I love my little iPod. It doesn't have a phone on it.
No, it has radio and music.
Oh, I see, yeah. Mine doesn't have much room, so I don't have music on mine.
What do you use yours for?
It's got Wi-Fi, so I use it for the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And I use it for a camera most of the time, really.
How's your life today?
Oh, it's wonderful. I still have people watching, and they still like it when I make videos, so I keep doing it. I meet a lot of nice people.
I know. You're very organized. Well, I do look at you every now and again.
Really?
Yeah.
How neat.